Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bayou Time Sports. I'm Stan Gravo. And one sport we probably just don't give enough credit to is swimming in our local high schools. And those guys are still in the pool. They're getting ready for the big state meet, which actually happens in November in Sulphur. But this past week, they actually had the Bayou Region Swim League Championships, which were held at the Wellness Center in Thibodaux. And we'd certainly like to pass on those teams who did well on this. There you're seeing some action from that. This is actually the girls 100 freestyle. And if you were with us a couple of weeks ago, we had Avery Belanger, a young ninth grader from Central Lafourche here. And that's her actually in the middle lane. She wins the 100 free in this one. And she won so much more. There we go. They make the turn. Remember, folks, these pools are 25 meters in length. They run short course on the high school level. There is no such thing as long course in high school. And again, it wraps up towards the end of November in Sulphur as these swimmers are all getting ready as she comes down the home stretch for this. As she does come down the home stretch, we want to congratulate the teams that did well in this meet. First, let's look at the boys division champions. They are in order. Number one was Thibodaux High School. They scored 295 points. Right on their heels was South Lafourche. South Lafourche scored 288 points. Vanderbilt at 277 points. Berwick at 249 and Terrebonne at 245 to round out the top 5 teams. And there you see from 6 to 12, it was South Terrebonne, Central Lafourche, Morgan City, Central Catholic, Houma Christian, H.L. Bourgeois, and Patterson. Of note, we should make sure that everybody understands the only school locally that does not swim in the Bayou Region Swim League Championship is E.D. White. E.D. White swims more with the Metro Leagues out of the New Orleans area. But again, this meet held at the Wellness Center, ironically enough, in Thibodaux, right there by E.D. White. And Thibodaux's high school boys were your champions. Thibodaux's got some really good swimmers coming out of that area at those two schools. Let's take a look at the girls and how they fared. Vanderbilt Catholic's Lady Terriers won it. They scored 360.5 points in second place. Was Terrebonne High School. Terrebonne scored 320 points. Central Lafourche scored 291.5 points. Thibodaux was in fourth place with 282 points. And finally, in the top 5, South Lafourche had 279 points. Rounding out the entire field was South Terrebonne, Berwick, Houma Christian, Centerville, and H.L. Bourgeois with 1 point. If you're not quite sure how swimming is scored, obviously, if you win, you score more points for your particular team. Relays score more points also. So again, congratulations to Thibodaux's boys, Vanderbilt Catholic's girls, as they are your Bayou Region swim champions. Let's take a look at those kids who made all district. These were your top swimmers there at the championships. First, a look at the boys. And folks, this is not in alphabetical order. This is in order by the points they scored in the meet. So, Landon Adams of Thibodaux High School, Alex Roddick of Vanderbilt Catholic, Luke Danos of South Lafourche, Joseph Berry of Berwick, Isaac Diaz of Thibodaux, Jay Bethurn of South Terrebonne, Gavin Pellegrin of South Terrebonne, Cameron Ehart of Terrebonne, Riker Oser, I hope I said that right, sorry if I messed that up, Riker of Vanderbilt Catholic, Raleigh Barrios Seward of South Lafourche, Carter Mason of Vanderbilt, Wyatt Broussard of Thibodaux, Jake Whitaker of Houma Christian, Graham St. Romain of Berwick, and Trent Stockskill of Morgan City are your all-district boys performers. Again, that means that in this particular championship, they were your top point getters out of the boys division, right? They're the ones who scored at the top of the heap, so to speak. Let's take a look at the girls and those girls that made all-district. Let's start it off with Sylvie Marceau from Vanderbilt Catholic. Then you have Avery Belanger, young lady we had on just a couple of weeks ago from Central Lafourche, only a sophomore. Cara Norville from South Lafourche. Brianna Verdun of Terrebonne High, along with her teammate, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry, that's Claire Casio of Thibodaux. Emily Boudreau of Terrebonne, Isabella Trosclair of Thibodaux, Cara Berry of Vanderbilt Catholic, Caroline Izagari of Berwick, Madeline Wynn of Terrebonne, Grace Barrios of South Lafourche, Lexi Grabert of Central Lafourche, Adriana Ewing of Central Lafourche, Olivia Degg of Thibodeau. Boy, I'm going to butcher this one, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Maura Jane Burns of South Lafourche. Hope I got that right. Sorry if it's not that, Maura Jane. And finally, Emma Savoy of Thibodeau High School. Again, this was swum last week over at the pool at the Wellness Center. And those kids now were trying to achieve certain times to move on to the state meet. You can either do it in the championship meet or throughout the season in dual meets or tri meets, whatever the case may be. You do have to attain a certain score. You don't have to have district championships, quite honestly, but I am so glad that our Bayou region does just that as they all got together. Very fun to go out there. Different years, different schools have a different amount of swimmers. But again, congratulations. Thibodeau High School's boys win it all, and Vanderbilt Catholic's girls win it all. They'll be swimming for state championships over in Sulphur a little bit later this month. Got to take a break. Hope you stick around. We'll be back with more Bayou Time Sports right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.